Hello amazing beautiful beings, this is Milena. If you've watched any of my videos, you probably know that every single one of them has to do with recognizing our power, stepping into it and using it consciously. And today's video is no exception. It has to do with something that is a huge disempowering program in our society, and it does affect us individually. And that has to do with the relationship among women. If you are a guy and you're thinking, okay, this has nothing to do with me and I'm just going to stop watching right now, pause for a second, because you do have a large role that you play in this, and recognizing some of those subconscious beliefs and programs and choosing to remove some of them can and will influence your relationships with the women in your life very positively as well. Women are pure power and they're extremely powerful. They're basically become absolutely unstoppable when they get together. And this is why over the last 10,000 years there was a lot of effort invested into separating women, keeping them apart and making sure that they're in competition and opposition to each other as opposed to working together. We know all of that. We know how the patriarchy worked. But right now we're in a very powerful accelerated process of transformation where women are regaining their power, they're getting together and they're starting to use it consciously to create the new world. Of course, men have a huge role in that as well, but for the sake of keeping the focus of this video, we are going to talk about women today. I'm not going to invest too much time in talking about where that came from. We are going to cover it a little bit, but the focus will be more on what are few simple steps that we can take in order to make sure that we get out of that cycle, tap into our own power, and join our forces with other amazing women. Of course, from a young age, we know the Disney movies. We have an evil stepmom, evil stepsisters. We always have one girl that is decent and wonderful and beautiful and really nice, and then everybody else is against her. In our day and age with Mulan and Frozen and all of that, there's a little bit of a change in that, and that does reflect the collective shift and women stepping into our power. But there's still, at a subconscious level, leftovers within us individually where we still carry some of that energy. And there are some ways, some sentences that we can say to test if we still hold any of that energy. For example, we can look at the following sentences. Say, she's beautiful, and scan and see how we feel when we say she's beautiful. It doesn't have to be anybody in particular. She's powerful. She's smart. She's intelligent. She's successful. She's attractive. She's sexy. Did any of those make you feel like, maybe she is and I agree with that, or no, she isn't? Or if we say we agree with that, but I'm not, or she's more beautiful, intelligent, smart, successful, powerful than I am. If any of those appear, then we do carry some of those programs. What about women can't be trusted? Women are jealous of other women. Women are not open and honest. They have an agenda when they talk to me. They have an agenda when they're nice. Do we ever feel that way? And if the answer is yes to any of those questions, then that's an indication that there are some things that we need to process and clear within our system. And we should just write them down so that we know what we're working with. If you imagine a really powerful, successful, gorgeous, beautiful woman, do you want to work and collaborate with her, hang out with her? Or do you have a little sense of, intimidating, or maybe she's a bitch? When we see a woman who has everything going for her, do we look for things that are missing? Does that make us feel better? Do we say, yeah, but she's this and that, and now I feel better? And we need to be really very honest with ourselves. We don't have to say that to anybody else. Why? Because if we do, that is what we will be creating in terms of relationships with other women around us. And every single time we remove one of those programs, our external world will shift to reflect that. I came across that female competition program from a very young age. When I was about 12 or 13 years old, I kind of was put in a position to compete with another girl for the attention of a boy that apparently we both really liked. I didn't know about the other girl. A friend of mine told me. I didn't try to compete. I continued doing what I'm doing and being who I was being. And eventually at some point I was given the information that I had been chosen, not knowing how. And you know what? It did not feel good in any way. And then I made a promise to myself that I was never going to compete with another girl for a boy or with another woman for a man. And if there was competition, that they could have them. Because if somebody's meant to be in your life, they're going to be in your life, and you have to beg and fight for them to be in your life, then they were never meant to be there anyway. I know this comes from, partially, that fear comes from many, many years ago, when the thriving and well-being of a woman and her family and her children, her offsprings, were very closely connected to whether she was married or who she was married to, because otherwise her children and she might not even survive. But right now that's not the case. And although that's not the case, we still have some leftovers. What do we carry? And that is the biggest and most important part of the process. But as soon as we become aware of the programs that we carry, they're no longer subconscious, and we don't need to do much to drop them. Because every time they become active in our system, this will now be a choice, whether to act on them or allow them to control our words and actions or not. I had a conversation with someone who I actually really like, but she was saying, I don't work with women. I don't work well with women. I've always worked with men, and I liked working with men much, much better. Women have an agenda. They're jealous. They'll stab you in the back. They'll talk behind your back. There is an alternative. And that if we believe that, we will absolutely get confirmation. We will absolutely have this type of interactions and this type of women in our lives to give us the confirmation of those beliefs that we hold. And I gave her an example how many amazing, wonderful, powerful women I had in my life, and I still do. And they're not one or two. There's actually quite a few of you out there, amazing ladies, and you know who you are. I absolutely love you, and I'm so grateful for your presence in my life. And you have been the biggest support in my life, including my own mom and my own daughter. But you need to be one too. Your power will grow exponentially, and your ability to do things for yourself, your community, and others is also going to grow. So, the simple steps that we can take: become aware of all the programs that we have running in terms of female competition. Write them down. By writing them down, your awareness will be at a level where it will always be a choice. It will no longer be a subconscious trigger that just starts dictating your actions and creates the same story and the same scenario that has been true up until now. Drop them. Choose to drop them, and sometimes becoming aware of them is all that it takes. Step number 3 is, if you find yourself invited to engage in competition in any way with other women, don't participate, because you need 2 of you or more than 2 of you to compete. If you're not participating, there's no competition. Step away, and that is not a loss. That is not you admitting that you're weaker, that you're not as another person. It simply means that you're consciously choosing the level that you want to engage at. And that is one of the smartest things that you can do for yourself. Step number 4, start joining forces with other women. Start with the ones that you've known for a long time, that you already trust, that you feel comfortable with. Combine energies, visions, keeping focus, keeping intent for certain things, and see what results you get. The more you do this, the more convinced you will become at how powerful that unification of female power is, and you're going to become a lot more skilled at doing that. You will start connecting more easily with other women, and you will start creating amazing, wonderful stuff in your own life, in your own community. And if you're a man and you have watched thus far, congratulations, you're one heck of a guy, and I thank you for being a part of it. What is it that you can do? Well, look at the beliefs, the subconscious beliefs and convictions that you hold about women and women competing. Look at some programs around, maybe you like women competing for your attention. Maybe it makes you feel good. Maybe it makes you feel more desirable and you actually enjoy seeing women compete for you. Is there any truth to that? You can stop seeing women that way. Be careful with what you say, what you express with your words. Start holding a vision of women who are collaborating, working together, getting along, and see how that affects you and the relationships with the women in your life. Not only is it possible, but it's one of the most natural ways for us to actually be. There's so much research that talks out there about what contributes the most to the health and well-being of a woman, and it's that close circle of female friends or relatives. So ladies of all places, unite, step into your power, connect with other women, and use it to create wonderful, amazing things in your own lives and in your communities. I love you, and if you need more help figuring out how to do that more easily in your own life, book a session at askmilena.com. Remember to subscribe to my newsletter as well as the channel, and click on the bell so that you can get notifications for all future videos which come out on Friday. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.